New Zealand is among the most remote nations on Earth, separated from other landmasses by vast stretches of ocean. Yet this isolation has helped shape a country that is both breathtakingly beautiful and culturally unique. What makes its story even more remarkable is how recent human history there is, formed over just a few centuries through waves of migration from across the world. So how did a once uninhabited group of islands become one of the most desirable places to live and visit today? This is the story of New Zealand. New Zealand is the last major landmass settled by humans. The first people arrived only around 800 years ago, between the 13th and 14th centuries. These early settlers were Polynesians, part of a vast migration known as the Great Polynesian Expansion. Skilled navigators, they traveled enormous distances across the Pacific using the stars, ocean currents, and wind patterns to guide their large voyaging canoes. When they reached these islands, known today as Aotearoa, they became the ancestors of the Maori people. They brought with them advanced knowledge of navigation, agriculture, and craftsmanship, along with a rich cultural and spiritual tradition that would define their society. Maori communities quickly established settlements across both the North and South Islands, often near rivers and coastlines. Society was organized into tribes, or iwai, based on shared ancestry. Oral traditions, known as whakapapa, preserved genealogies and connected people to their land, ancestors, and beliefs. Defensive settlements called pa were built on elevated ground, serving as both fortresses and community centers. Maori spirituality emphasized harmony with nature, with a wide range of gods governing different aspects of life. Over time, Maori society became increasingly complex. Chiefs, known as rangatira, held authority, but leadership depended heavily on respect and consensus. Warfare between tribes became more common as competition for land and resources intensified. Warriors relied on weapons made from wood, stone, and bone, and often used psychological tactics such as the Haka, a powerful ceremonial dance to intimidate their enemies. This way of life continued largely unchanged until the arrival of Europeans. In 1642, Dutch explorer Abel Tasman became the first European to sight New Zealand. His brief encounter with Maori ended violently, and he left without landing. However, his voyage placed New Zealand on European maps. More than a century later, British explorer James Cook arrived in 1769. Unlike Tasman, Cook spent significant time mapping the islands and interacting with Maori communities. His detailed charts opened the door for future explorers, traders, and settlers. By the late 18th and early 19th centuries, European whalers, traders, and missionaries began visiting regularly. Trade flourished, but it also introduced new technologies, most notably firearms. The arrival of muskets had devastating consequences. Tribal conflicts escalated dramatically in what became known as the Musket Wars, resulting in tens of thousands of deaths and reshaping Maori society. As European presence increased, permanent settlements began to form. Missionaries introduced Christianity and literacy, recording the Maori language in written form for the first time. By the late 1830s, growing European settlement raised concerns about law, land ownership, and sovereignty. In response, the British government stepped in. In 1840, representatives of the British Crown and many Maori chiefs signed the Treaty of Waitangi. This agreement established British governance while promising to protect Maori rights and land. However, Differences between the English and Maori versions of the treaty led to disputes that would have lasting consequences. As more settlers arrived, tensions over land intensified. Conflicts broke out between Maori and British forces in a series of wars during the mid-19th century. These clashes resulted in large-scale land confiscations, leaving deep scars that are still felt today. Despite this, New Zealand continued to grow. Agriculture, especially sheep farming, became a cornerstone of the economy. The discovery of gold in the 1860s brought a surge of migrants from around the world. By the late 19th century, New Zealand had developed progressive social policies. It became the first country to grant women the right to vote in 1893, an achievement that placed it at the forefront of democratic reform. In the early 20th century, New Zealand gained greater independence while maintaining ties to Britain. Its involvement in global conflicts, particularly World War I, played a key role in shaping national identity. Thousands of New Zealand soldiers served overseas, and their sacrifices became central to the country's sense of unity and independence. After World War II, New Zealand began redefining its global position. It strengthened ties with the United States and Australia while gradually distancing itself from Britain. At home, immigration policies changed, bringing greater diversity to the population. At the same time, Maori communities experienced a cultural revival, working to preserve their language, traditions, and rights. In 1987, the Maori language was recognized as an official language of New Zealand. Today, New Zealand stands as a modern, multicultural nation known for its natural beauty, high quality of life, and strong cultural identity. From its Polynesian origins to its colonial struggles and modern transformation, the country's history is one of resilience, adaptation, and renewal.